County Black Chamber of Commerce Political Action Committee, and I am honored to be here with our candidates here today, and more honored to be here with you all because this is you are the reason why we are here tonight. Thank you so much for those of you who attended the first portion. We appreciate it. Thank you for the water. They take good care of me around here, so I'm going to stay. Before we get started, the same rules apply, but I do want to be fair, so we're going to go through them again. I apologize if you've heard this before, but for the audience, go ahead and keep those phones on silent for us, and you can turn them off if you like, but however, we want to make sure that our candidates are in an environment where they will not be interrupted. They have very important things to talk about, and we are here to listen. So if you could, please just do us that quick favor. We'd appreciate it. To our candidates, thank you so much for being here. You will have 2 minutes to reply to each question, all right? But you will also have 1 minute to the remaining candidates to respond or to refute the initial answer. Does that make sense? All right. All right, so without further ado, we have a time system in place. As you see, everyone has your minus 2 minutes. We also want to thank our co-collaborators, the NAACP Vallejo branch, Voters Voice of Solano County. And we had another sponsor.
Solano Tax Watchers.
Solano Tax Watchers, thank you so much. Without further ado, let's get this party started. All right. The first question, I know. First question, we're going to touch on homelessness. The first question is for Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, the city of Vallejo has received millions of dollars for a yet to be completed navigation center for our homeless population. The center is not complete, nor has an operator been selected. No field operations have begun, and the homeless issues are larger than ever. As a supervisor, what are your plans to help to resolve the issues of homelessness in District 1? Since putting endless amounts of money into the city just does not seem to be the answer at this time.
Thank you, Tara. Appreciate the question. Homelessness is a situation that's been plaguing our city certainly for years. It really seems like it's the worst ever, in the worst ever state it's been. The Navigation Center, too, has been plagued with problems. The first site all of a sudden couldn't be used because of contamination issues. They looked at another site. They bought the tent facility, but still with no plan. It's really been languishing, and we need an opportunity to find solutions to help get people off the street and get them from causing such a plague in our community with stuff just stacked up all over the place. I am happy with the successes that the city of Vallejo has had in partnership with the county to open the Blue Oaks Landing on Sacramento Street, and the upcoming project on Broadway Street are happening, and I see those as real positives for our community. But the Navigation Center is something we need. The city has finally found a site also on Sacramento Street. They have the sprung tent facility, so it should be able to move quickly so that we can engage that solution. And I applaud the city for the work that they are trying to do in the midst of this very difficult time with the navigation facility. But it really takes us to move to a time where we're not just pointing fingers either at the city or county or Caltrans or someone else, but raising our hand and working together and saying, what can we do to work together to solve these problems? When people call our office at Supervisor Hannigan's District 1 office, they're concerned about this, and we're working to bring people together to find solutions. And I think the county and the city can and will work together, and we will open that navigation center, hopefully before my time on the Solano County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. Do we have a rebuttal or refute? Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. James, how will you advocate and give resources to and for our local small businesses that are closing and being adversely affected by the rampant crime and homelessness in the city of Vallejo?
That is a two-part question. It is a short-term. We need to address it in the short term and also address it in the long term as well. When we're talking about public safety specifically in Vallejo, we need to look at it at a holistic, in a holistic picture. So public safety, one, we have to make sure that the county and the city work with the police department and state legislators to make sure that they meet the reforms. So we can start to address the crime. Also, the crime that's happening is poverty crime. Poverty crime where folks are taking advantage because they don't have enough themselves. So they are taking advantage of our businesses and to make sure that they are fed or that they can eat. So to address that, the short term is making sure that our businesses can partner with the chambers, partner with our small business distinction development center, to not only apply for loans, but access the grants in order for them to stay open. And then the long term is really addressing the roots of the issues that's within this city. And that is we have an ongoing public safety concern. And until we address that, we're going to continue to have businesses that's going to close down due to the ongoing public safety. And to address the homelessness concerns, the city does not even have a homeless plan or a housing element plan, nor does the county. And so we need to be sure to write a plan out on how to address the homeless concerns and how to diversify how we are looking at homelessness. It's not just with the navigation center, it's looking at the shelters, looking at permanent supportive housing, and making sure that all organizations and all businesses, that it's an equitable process for them to have access to that plan and for them to, sorry, that thing goes fast.
Thank you so much. Do I hear a response from?
I'd love to take a minute just to say the county has invested heavily on resources for small business, especially in the recovery from COVID. The county chose to use our American Rescue funds for small businesses, investing to help struggling businesses, working with the Small Business Development Center, working with Solano EDC and asking them to tie up with the local chambers, with businesses, and say, we need to put this money on the street. At the county, we wanted to invest that money for what the plan was for those ARPA funds. We didn't just all set it aside as a lot of it was done in the city. No offense to the city, but I'm running for county supervisor, and what we're doing at the county is investing in our community, using the money that we bring in from federal and state resources and trying to invest it back into the community. And that's what we need to continue doing, and I see my minutes about it. Thanks.
And just to go back.
1 second. I just want to set the timer.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. But just to go back to the county investing in local community, Vallejo oftentimes have not gotten its fair share from those dollars, and we have businesses, specifically businesses that aren't in the main corridor of downtown, and often business owners of color who do not have the accessibility to those funds. So when we're talking about making sure that we all have access to those dollars and investing in the entire community, that's what I am talking about, and that's what I am trying to bring, or not trying to bring, will bring as the next county supervisor, is ensuring that all communities have access and understand and have the capacity to apply and get to those dollars.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move on to public safety. Ms. James, public safety is a top concern for many residents here in District 1. How do you, plan to collaborate with law enforcement agencies, community organizations, and other stakeholders to ensure a safe and secure environment for residents? Are there specific strategies you propose to address crime prevention and community policing?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Of course,
That was a
absolutely, it was. Public safety is a top concern for many residents in District 1. how do you plan to collaborate with law enforcement agencies, community organizations, and other stakeholders to ensure a safe and secure environment for residents? Are there specific strategies you propose to address crime prevention and community policing?
Yes, there are specific strategies that I would like to bring to the city and to the county. Currently, the city of Vallejo is receiving Prop $47, and that is a violence prevention grant that goes to our nonprofits here to work with some of our most at-risk or in-risk individuals or residents here, from our Tay youth, 16 to 24, and also with some of our adults. One plan from that would be to partner with the city to apply for additional dollars through not only Prop 47, but through the Violence Intervention Prevention, which is AB 28, which just passed at the state level, and working with our state legislators to make sure that we could pull down from those dollars. And one plan specifically is through our Community Ambassador Program. So that way we could partner with the police department, partner with the sheriff, partner with community organizations, and partner with businesses on doing a community ambassador program where you have effective community policing that the community could get involved in and have greater community investment. Also, with that plan, you're paying your local residents to watch, or in order to do community policing in effect. Also, what we need to do, again, it goes back to the reforms. We need to work with our police department at a county level, and I heard before that the county just sits at the county and is not involved with the city, but the responsibility is to make sure that the district, and that includes the city, can effectively have a relationship with public safety. And an example was from Antioch, where they were able to get their state legislators involved in that process.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, did you have a response?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
A major element for all of us, and when I'm out talking to our neighbors, knocking on their doors out throughout Vallejo, is safety and security. People aren't feeling safe in their homes. People aren't feeling safe in their businesses. They're looking at leaving. People are leaving our community. You know that. I know that. Businesses are closing and leaving. We need to work on retaining the good things we have in this community. The county's working hard with its public safety departments, the sheriff department, probation, custody. I'm especially proud of probation. If you haven't seen the Youth Achievement Center on Tennessee Street, we're doing great things to help reduce recidivism. In the probation department alone at the county, we're reducing recidivism to help on that level of the crime. So at the county, I think we need to continue to do this work of helping people find a way out of crime, but also partnering with the city and finding ways that we can help the police department in any way we can.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
When we're talking about public safety, that is one aspect where you have people leaving the community, but you also have another part of the community that is afraid of the police. And we need to be honest in having those conversations where you have a sector of the district that's afraid to call the police, even if somebody breaks in. Just recently, there was several break-ins over here in North Vallejo, and not one of the business owners called the police because they didn't want to bring that type of harm to that community. And what that community did was work within themselves in order to police or patrol their area. And when we're talking about, we're not only talking about formerly incarcerated, because there's an organization that's also in the community that works with this specific population. We have to be able to do a partnership between probation and the nonprofit organizations that are already doing the work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hate to interrupt. We are going to move on to Mr. Wilson. The Vallejo Police Department has been under much scrutiny from the community. This has caused a great divide. And how would you build that bridge between the police department, elected officials, the community, and so forth, so that the Vallejo residents don't continue to suffer?
Yes, I definitely am concerned about Vallejo residents suffering, and will do everything I can so we can reduce and end that suffering. Of course, the Vallejo Police Department is under the jurisdiction of the Vallejo City Council and the City of Vallejo. But I think, well, first I'll just say, when I was on the Vallejo City Council, elected in 2007, serving for 4 years, our relationship was much stronger. We had more police on the street. We had less of these major issues that were happening now. So something has happened to tear that relationship apart, and it can be rebuilt by working together. Things that Cassandra has said of building trust, working to rebuild the trust, not just a neighborhood watch, maybe a neighborhood watch on the fly, but inviting the police into that neighborhood watch program and saying, how can we one by one rebuild that trust? Maybe it's one person at a time, one community at a time, one officer at a time. But from the county level, I think the Sheriff's Department has shown openness to helping our city through this gap where we have fewer police officers in the city than we did when we were going through bankruptcy. So we do need help. But the sheriff, first thing he said, which made sense, is you need to have an agreement with your police department and get your house somewhat in order. And the Vallejo City Council, not just because of that, but eventually did enter into an agreement with paying with having a union contract with the police department, which is starting to build trust and to build opportunity. So if we can have those multiple dimensions, it's not one or the other, it's with the community, with elected officials, and importantly, a trust relationship between the city and the county. That the county doesn't come in and just have this arching thinking that they can solve all the problems, but to work together as a partner with the city and county on the elected side, and also with our communities, one with the other.
Time.
And just to go back to the policing question, Vallejo has the 19th deadliest police force in the entire state of California. And it has increasingly, the families that have been impacted the most have been silenced by both the city and the county. So it is very important not just to say that we are going to have this relationship. We have to truly partner with those who have been impacted by police violence. We have to partner with the community that has been yelling at the city and county to do something. And we have to be willing, and understandably, it's a city jurisdiction, the county has its own, but to effectively partner with each other and have that relationship and sit down to come up with the plan together, and pulling also our state legislators in these conversations, because there are state dollars that can address some of our policing concerns here in this city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Sounds like building trust is the common ground here. Thank you. We're gonna move forward with economic development. Mr. Wilson, you are next. As a new member of the board, your single presence will have little impact without the support of the other members on the board that you'll sit with. What is your plan to ensure that you can forge a working relationship and gain the support of your peers to move your agenda and their agendas forward for the good of the communities you serve?
Well, I'll start with my agenda's our agenda. My agenda is bringing forward the ideas and actions of the community, especially as they relate to what the county does. The county provides help and assistance to people. 1 in 3 people in Solano County are receiving some form of assistance from the county. In Vallejo, it's 1 in 2 people. So we do need our fair share, and we are working on receiving our fair share of assistance from the county, and we need a voice that says Vallejo has these needs, and we need to have them met. And Erin Hannigan, during her past 11 years, has been a strong voice for us in Vallejo to help ensure to the other 4 supervisors that they know the needs of Vallejo. And I look forward to continuing to be that voice and to bring the needs of Vallejo to the Board of Supervisors. because the only two people who live in Vallejo that would serve on the Board of Supervisors are sitting right here. That District 2 group, none of them live in Vallejo, and they would represent a part of Vallejo. But they can be our partner, and I'm sure the people here who live in District 2 will decide who's going to be a voice to partner with us in Vallejo. Whether it's Cassandra or me, we need those other supervisors. And I think I can work together with other people. As a member of the Vallejo City Council, I was one of 7 members of that City Council and did work with people, even those with whom I had divergent, different opinions on some things. We did come together when the needs of the community meant that it was time to come together. So I'm looking forward to working and again building the partnerships with the other supervisors to bring our voice, to bring our needs of Vallejo to the County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. Ms. James, do we need to add a minute on the timer for you?
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are going to move forward with economic development. Ms. James, during the last election, the voters in Vallejo passed Measure P. How do you make sure that those monies go to homeless solutions, much needed infrastructure, potholes for one, and crime prevention, to name a few, in the city of Vallejo, and not for expenses that are not approved by voters?
Measure P, they have an oversight committee. So it's, again, working with city staff, city council members, and specifically working with and uplifting that commission that's over the oversight, the Measure P oversight, to ensure that the money goes to where it needs to go. Also, I want to just add, I know that we talk about crime prevention, but there are other dollars that are already within the city that goes to crime prevention. We need to have a strategic plan in order to make sure that, and a assessment to make sure that the dollars are being spent in the right way. And going back to Measure P, so that way it can focus on the infrastructure of the city, and improving our roads, specifically potholes and other things. It is, again, uplifting, not uplifting the commission, but having the plan and doing a full evaluation of the infrastructure and where dollars need to be. And at the last meeting, they had a conversation around how the money from Measure P wouldn't even meet the needs of Vallejo, and that they would need to partner with the county and go again and partner with the state to pull down some more dollars to address the ailing infrastructure within this city.
Thank you. Do I need to put another
Yes.
minute up? All right, go ahead.
The citizens of Vallejo need to elect a mayor and city council who are going to be sure that the money in the city of Vallejo is being spent well and properly, and as we, the citizens who passed these measures B and P, asked for it to be spent. The money in these additional tax measures needs to get onto the streets, both the people living on the streets and the potholes on the street. It's not meant to just be set into some piggy bank on the side and eventually decide what to do with it. We're paying our sales tax every day as we're out there putting money into these funds. That money needs to be working for us to improve the community. This is an important election on March 5th. It's a very important election in our city coming up in November, where the mayor and up to three council members will be up for election. To make sure that this Vallejo money that we who live in Vallejo are spending and investing in our city through our sales tax is very important. And it's the job of the Vallejo City Council and their staff and commissions under them to make sure that it's spent well.
Thank you.
It's like it moves fast. You can barely see it.
Hey, y'all gotta be quick. Just kidding. Well, thank you so much, Ms. James. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson, for your very, very thoughtful responses. Right now, I want to give both of you 2 minutes each to close us out. We're going to start with Ms. James.
My legacy is ensuring that seniors can age here in dignity, such as my grandmother. My legacy is ensuring that adults working adults can live and thrive here, such as my significant other. My legacy is ensuring that the next generation, my boys, can inherit a vibrant, a thriving, and a thriving Vallejo. It's time for change, and it's time for us to have the courage to change who is sitting in these seats and making the decisions. I'm coming here with my own lived experience. Yes, we both live in Vallejo. I'm the only one that lives in North Vallejo, a historically excluded community that never gets its fair share from the city nor the county. I'm uniquely qualified because I have the professional background where I manage a budget for the city and county of San Francisco, and I get to boldly and creatively look at federal, state, and local dollars to ensure that the most vulnerable residents there have access to quality housing. So, when I say it's time for change, we've been having the same thing for years. And when are we ever going to move beyond that? And we can't move beyond that if we keep electing the same type of person who don't have the lived experience, the professional background, and the education. I want you to join endorsers like the Napa Solano Labor Council, like Planned Parenthood, like the Solano County Democratic Party, like Supervisor Wanda Williams, like State Controller Malia Cohen, State Treasurer Fiona Ma, because they are invested in this community and they know that we deserve so much better.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Wilson?
I'd like to start by just thanking everyone for coming out, and especially grateful to the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce and the partners for hosting this evening to spread the word. Elections are important, and we have a lot of apathy when people decide how they're going to go forward and vote. They want change, but they don't always want to participate. And so to see all of us participating and being a part of how we move forward in this community is very important. Sometimes there's disagreements on how we want to get there, what we've done, how we're going to do it, and those things. But when you focus on how can we make our community better, how can we serve each other, how can we get along together, how can we work together, those are elements that I look forward to putting forward. And to do that and building partnerships like I've talked between the city and the county, partnerships with other cities in the county, but also partnerships with outside groups. 8 years ago, Supervisor Hannigan and I met with the Ochadihi Winton Nation and formed a partnership to help Vallejo and Solano County. That they're bringing money that's not taxpayer dollars, not state dollars, not other dollars, but from their nation to help our community, their ancestral area here in Solano County. They've helped us to build the First Five Center to helping young families on Sonoma Boulevard, right there by the Dee Dee's Discounts. They've helped us to build a mobile food pharmacy that we offer prescriptions of not just drugs, but food to our clients at the clinic, that the food bank truck that's specially designed for this food pharmacy comes forward. They've helped us help seniors to age in place by helping install grab bars and ramps and houses, because I do agree strongly that we need to help our seniors age in place. We need to offer those services for young families in their first 5 years, all the way to seniors, to help them make Vallejo a wonderful place.
Thank you.
Seems like you have more time.
I don't know, I gotta talk fast.
Ooh, anybody want my job tonight? Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. We're going to go right on into questions from the audience.
Just teach you.
All right. Well, I'm back. You can ask me from here.
Wherever you want.
Or be on the
Just
floor.
get up on the step.
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever you want.
Okay, don't trip. Yeah. All right, well, the first question from the audience. I got a pretty loud voice. First question to both of you is, with Senate Bill 43 having been signed by the governor, how will you, as a supervisor, ensure Solano County has the capacity to implement the bill quickly and effectively? Ms. James, would you like to go first, please?
Can you repeat that, please?
With the Senate Bill 43 having been signed by the governor, how will you, as a supervisor, ensure Solano County has the capacity to implement it quickly and effectively?
I have to do more research on Senate Bill 43, and I want to make sure that I can give a thorough answer to that.
Okay. Mr. Wilson?
Same, a lot of these bills, they have the same numbers that come up, so
Right.
can you tell us the text of the bill? I mean, not the whole text, but usually there's a,
I wrote the question, so I can tell you the text. It's the new conservatory expansion
Oh,
law.
yeah, okay.
you
That,
say,
right, the governor gave up to 2 years for us to enact it at a county level. But a lot of our counties are failing to get that, conservatorship of mental health and or individuals who are severely dealing with substance use. So the question is asking, as the county supervisor, how are you going to ensure that the county has the capacity and that we're effectively and quickly getting these programs up and running to address many of the issues that we're experiencing here in our communities, like homelessness and, increased crime rates.
Okay.
thanks, gentlemen.
I think they're gonna come back.
Okay,
Next
yeah. Okay. This is for both of you. I am 20 years old and not into politics. Why should I care about this election or any election? Mr. Wilson?
Thank you. To our 20-year-old unsure about being into politics, I encourage you to be involved in the community. We look at politics, and especially when you watch it on TV and national politics, it can be so negative, so nasty, so divisive, so red and blue and one side or the other. But really, in a community, we can find ways to come together. We can disagree without being disagreeable. And I think that is what's going to inspire young people, maybe this 20-year-old student with us this evening, to decide that service to their community in politics, but really the service to helping your neighbors, get a traffic light fixed, or find a way to improve the police department, or make sure fires are being put out, or that, God forbid, potholes are being filled in the community. But if we could get to that point where we weren't always just disagreeable, but we found ways to work through disagreement to solution, I think young people may find politics more interesting and life-giving.
Ms. James?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I have two questions along those lines, but I'll read this one again.
Just the one thing?
But it's basically, it's both of them are centered around the youth.
Okay.
So, the first one is, I am 20 years old and not into politics. Why should I care about this election or any election?
I was once 20 and didn't care about politics, but politics is personal. Everything that you do, you touch. If you live in a community that just have liquor stores, if you live in a community where businesses are closed, if you live in a community where you're frustrated with what's happening in your city, that's all politics. And that's because you're not involved. Even if the simple thing that you do is just vote, you are using your power. And politics is power and access to power to shift how things are happening within our city and within our county. So that's why you should want to be involved in politics. It's the antics, but it's the politicians and elected officials that write the policies that impact you.
Okay, the next question is for Mr. Wilson, specifically. When you ran for office 10 years ago, you could not name one thing you did for Vallejo taxpayers. I asked, can you cite, looks like 3 things, issues you have initiated and followed through as a positive result for the taxpayers in District 1?
Great, thank you, Deanna Lang, for the question. Appreciate it. The most important thing we did when I ran for city council was to stabilize the city, to work together to find a way to go into bankruptcy, come out of bankruptcy, and work on a long-term solution for our city. In recent years, that plan has deteriorated, has fallen south. Since going up to the county with Supervisor Aaron Hannigan, we have worked hard on solutions and actions to bring them to our community. Specifically opening the First 5 Center right here in Vallejo. Specifically working on opening an early learning center at the old Beverly Hills School in South Vallejo to help young families in filling 200 childcare slots. That people can go, get back to work, get on their feet. People in childcare can have a place to expand from maybe being in their house to offering childcare. We've worked hard. Just this morning, we're at the senior center putting shoes on the feet of seniors, helping them get back out there and keep moving. Because I agree wholeheartedly, we want to have a place for our seniors to age in place and have a place to age right here in Vallejo. And we can do it. So those specific things I'm very proud of, and I'm very proud to work to bring even more great things for our community through the District 1 Supervisor's Office in Vallejo and throughout Solano County.
Thank you. The next question is also for Mr. Wilson.
You want one too?
I get my break.
I'll share.
Yes.
Can you tell us about a couple of community needs that North Vallejo is struggling with, and when was the last time you have visited or participated in activities there?
Specific needs, I think community, as Cassandra said, and I think we know clearly, we need to build the trust between the community and the city, and the trust between the community and the police department. And I say those two things separately because that city trust is what we hear is not happening, and that police department trust has room for nothing but can only grow, can only increase by this communication. As far as events in the community, I've been to events there at wherever, anytime anyone wants me. Anyone in the room wants me to be at any event, give me a call, click through my website, and I'll be there. I go to 100% of events that I'm not invited to, I'm not at. So if I'm invited to an event, I'm happy to be there. Happy, looking forward to it. Pat Hunter just said she talked to my friend Josette over there on the event coming up on Monday. Well, that's in Fairfield. But if you invite me, I'm happy to be there. Cassandra wants to invite me to an event anywhere, let's go. I'd love to have you come to an event anywhere, so excited to be anywhere in the community.
Okay, well, the final audience question, unless there are any more that come up at the last minute. This one is for Mr. Wilson also.
I got a break.
How can we build trust? Okay, how can we build trust with Vallejo Police Department if their arrival time to a crime is over 12 minutes plus?
Yeah, the arrival time, I don't know if that ties into trust. I think as I talk about building trust is working together, maybe community, even one officer at a time. But we need to improve those arrival times. In 12 minutes, that's on the verge of what I'm hearing faster than some. Sometimes it's 60 minutes or depending on the call. So to build trust, we need to build the department. We need to build the department to have the adequate number of officers to respond to the needs that we have in this community. That's how we change that response time. Building trust is on top of that. Responding doesn't tie to trust. And I think if Cassandra gets a question from you, I think you would agree that just responding doesn't build trust. But a fear of people responding, that is a sign that there is not trust. So there are two elements that need to grow and be strengthened.
Thank you so much. This is the conclusion of our wonderful forum here today. I would like to thank our candidates, Cassandra James, Mr. Michael Wilson, our community, our partners, our friends, and loved ones for attending tonight. My name is Tara Beasley Stansberry here, repping the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce PAC. Thank you. Have a good night.